Welcome to Viewpoint, the program of personalities, politicians, and perspectives. Well, we're going to have perspective today, and we certainly have politics. We had the politics, so we have the personalities. Well, speaking of politics, we always try to start Viewpoint with a kudo or two. And so the Logan County electorate went to the polls yesterday, 43% of us. Good for them. That's significantly higher than the average vote is, particularly in a primary. But the best part about it is 73% of that 43% voted to approve the Veterans Assistance Commission. And kudo here goes to Joe Shaler. He worked tirelessly for that, and I would bet that he's got some out-of-pocket expense out of his own pocket on that too. I'm certain of that. No way of knowing, but just know. And Joe worked hard on that, and so here's a real tip of the bonnet to him.
Also, we got a note from him, and he says, "Thank you, Logan County, for showing your gratitude and respect for our county veterans and their families with a bin-busting turnout." So I'm sure that today he's got a smile that just won't quit.
Well, he really did put his heart and soul in that. And Joe is a Vietnam veteran. Those gentlemen and ladies, they kind of held a special spot for most of us. Girls in the big wars, George Goebel said, you must have read about it. It was in all the papers. We all came home and got on with business and all. And we were welcomed home. The Vietnam boys had a little different situation, so they have a particular spot in my heart. So kudos to, and by the way, last week we got so busy with all we had going on, and I've been to mention this. We had a young lady from high school, Hallie Williams, and she went to the state basketball tournament and entered into the three-pointer contest. So she's Queen of the Hill. She shot 11 for 15. So,
oh, gosh.
Good for her. Okay.
You want to believe it.
Yeah. Let's get down to some serious business here. Judith Kay, why don't you introduce our guest?
Well, I'm happy to do that. They represent a pretty darn good outfit that's a big part of this county and others. I don't want to leave them out. My goodness. Katie Alexander has responsibility for much of the goings on out there, and Breann Titus has her responsibilities. And we're going to talk with them about the Cheeseburger in Paradise. I bet a lot of you remember that title because it's kind of clever. And it's coming up again on April 16th at 6 p.m. at that reception center, I think they call it, out west of town. And they have just 4 tables left for people who would be willing to sponsor a table. And the money, of course, is all well used. So, Katie, if you'd like to start and give us some particulars about the Cheeseburger in Paradise and what the proceeds will be used for.
Definitely. Well, Cheeseburger in Paradise, like you said, is going to be on April 16th. It's at 6 p.m. and it's at the Lincoln Banquet Center there on Madigan Drive. And all the proceeds are going to go to the Community Action Agency as a whole. There have been years where we've, sponsored, certain programs for Cheeseburger. This year we're going to kind of blanket everybody, and I'm sure everybody knows with the state of Illinois, there's been, some funding crisis, especially if you have funds coming in through the state. Yeah. So we're going to use it to kind of cover us and help us and help educate the community too on everything that we do at Community Action. I don't think everybody's really quite aware of all that goes on out there.
How could they be?
I know.
Because there's so much.
There is.
It's just myriad kinds of things, starting with little tiny people all the way up the ladder.
Yep.
And one of your programs that has been of benefit to many is your Head Start.
Yes.
And that benefits not only the kids who are in it, and they're down to tiny people. What's the beginning age?
Well, we have our Early Head Start program, which is well, even it's like pre-birth. When the mama's pregnant, they start interacting with the mamas and the families, and then the early Head Start goes to 3, and then Head Start is 3 to 5. So
see, they're just babies.
They are.
Yeah.
They're just little.
And it benefits not only all these little people, but their parents as well, because there are programs then for them.
Yes.
To help their life be easier. Bill, I'm interrupting you, of course.
No, not at all.
You might know.
No. Well, what's new about that?
Nothing.
I think we ought to write a song about that. What's new?
Just feel free to raise your hand.
Seriously. Community action. It's kind of an out of sight, out of mind situation. Number one, physically, you're located way on the west side and kind of tucked back there in the.
We're hidden.
Yeah, you're hidden. But beyond that, beyond the physical hiding, I just don't. I believe that the community is not generally aware of the many things that community action does for people, some of whom are in real need.
Yeah, definitely.
So, give us an oversight, Katie, starting, well, we've only got 45 minutes, so you can't go much longer.
All right.
But a quick oversight of everything that you do out there at Community Action.
All right, I'll try to give the Cliff Notes version.
Yes.
We have our transportation program, which we've seen a lot of that in the local news lately. We've got our Logan Mason public transportation and also senior transportation. We have our energy assistance program, which they are taking LIHEAP applications for right now. We have our Meals on Wheels program that feeds, our seniors. We deliver meals to them at home, and we also have congregate sites. We have the Hand Up Project, which is in my world, and that is a series of classes and scholarships to help individuals get from living on assistance to becoming self-sufficient and being able to gain living wage employment.
Yes.
We have the foster grandparent program, which Breann is in charge of, and I'll let her touch on that a little bit more because she's a lot more knowledgeable with that. And like you said, we also have the Head Start, Early Head Start. I don't think I'm missing anything out there.
Good Lord,
We've got a lot going on.
I mean, really.
Yes.
Community action, that's the word, community action.
Community action saved our bacon at our house when my husband was so sick, and he just couldn't get any place. He was in a wheelchair, and they would come and take him to dialysis. And we couldn't. You can't get a wheelchair in a sedan,
Right. It's a little
well, I mean, you can. I've done it, but it isn't easy. And they would pick him up because they had lifts on their vans, and it expanded from helping people like Buzz to helping people who just needed transportation. It's a wonderful thing, and I'm sure you're busier than cranberry merchants.
We are. I talk to them frequently, and I tell them how much
cranberry
busier
merchants.
I am. Yes, the cranberry merchants.
Let's go to funding.
Okay.
It takes a buck or two to run a program like this. Whence cometh your funding?
We receive funding both from state and the federal level. So it just depends on which program it is.
I see.
Yeah.
Have you had any trouble with the state funding?
Yes.
A big yes. A big, huge yes to that.
Thankfully, we have some.
And this is just one community here now, so.
Correct.
So spread that out.
Right. Thankfully, we have very fiscally conscious executives in place. Our executive director and our CFO. They really helped keep our doors open. Many community action agencies across the state of Illinois had to close their doors, and thankfully we were not one of those agencies.
Thankfully, again.
That's a real tragedy in a community. I don't care whether it's a small community or it's a Chicago suburb. When you shut down a program like that, that has a major impact, not just on the immediate families, but close relatives there too.
It was very devastating, and there's been a lot of action taking place on the state level. I know that they're advocating a lot for us and trying to help keep more agencies open so this doesn't happen again.
from your mouth to God's ear. Breann, can you tell us about foster grandparents? I met somebody the other day, and she proudly told me that she was a foster grandparent.
Absolutely. And it's a great program that, I mean, it helps, like you mentioned, the youth that are involved as well as the seniors that are participating in the program. You know, it helps them live a more active life. It makes them feel proud that they're doing something. You know, some of these women and men that are in this program, they've worked their whole life. And so when it comes to retirement age, they're like, what else can I do?
Yeah.
You know, they're not at that time in their life that they feel, I'm done. I don't want to work anymore. And they want to work with children. They want to give back. So basically what the program entails is they work in Head Start centers, classrooms, school classrooms, daycare centers, and even with some older youth as well. So they basically become mentors. They become friends. They help work with special and exceptional need children just to give them that one-on-one attention when they need it.
Oh, it is such a wonderful program for, well, now we're talking about the seniors. You know, if you sit home and watch daytime TV all day, you can get stupid. Really.
Boy, is that right.
This is an outlet for people who are, just like you say, thinking, what am I going to do next? You know, this retirement's like chasing lions. You got to have a plan.
Right.
And here's a good plan for people. Most of the senior who are in the foster grandparents, I suppose, are like Bill and me, grandparents, great-grandparents, and they love the little people.
Exactly.
And hats off to those who work with the teens.
Yes.
You know, that's a calling. That's not a job.
Right.
Because it's not easy.
Right. And we have some that prefer the older youth, and then we have some that prefer the babies, you know, and some of the grandparents, they have grandchildren, but maybe they live a distance from them. So this is kind of their way to get that grandparent, you know, grandchild love that they don't get on a normal basis. And
isn't there a stipend involved?
There is.
I think that's probably very important to many of the foster grandparents.
Exactly, and it's tax-free stipend that is that on an hourly.
Going to catch you on that one.
An hourly basis. So, like, if any of our foster grandparents receive other outside funding sources such as disability or Social Security, it doesn't affect any of those things. So they can still bring in some supplemental income without affecting their other funding sources that they're living on. So that's kind of nice. And they also have the opportunity to have accrue sick time, vacation time, holiday pay. And it's flexible because they have the opportunity to work a minimum of 15 hours a week up to 40 hours a week. So it's really, so it's really up to them. So whether they're completely retired and not working and they just want to spend time volunteering, or maybe they are still working part-time and they want to do something in addition to that. There's lots of flexibility. Our sites that I've communicated with so far are great. They love the foster grandparents. They appreciate everything that they do, so they're very positive places. And the age range that we look at is 55 years or older.
Young people.
Yeah. Yes.
Kids.
Right?
Yes. So, yeah, 55 years is the minimum age. And then they go up to however they want to do it and however they feel like they can do it.
That's such a great thing. Now, that's been ongoing for a long, long time. Was it always under the umbrella of community action, or was it something else once upon a time?
There's several, as far as here locally, it's been under community action, I think, for over 30 years is what I think they told me. But there's other... foster grandparent doesn't always have to be under a community action agency. It can be under Catholic Charities. It's just a program that other sources can apply for to be able to start that program. But as far as here locally, it's been under community action, and we've been doing it. We have some that have started when they were at that minimum age, and they've been doing it for 20, 30 years.
Well, you know, for some of them, that little extra income is the difference.
Absolutely.
What is the stipend for that? What
it is $2.65 an hour. And like I said, it's tax-free.
They ever go on strike for $3?
Some might. Oh, don't give them the idea. And they also...
God, that's nothing.
Yeah. But, you know, we have to make sure that it doesn't affect any of their outside sources.
Sure.
Because there's strict regulations with that. You know, we don't want them to lose any of that income that they're already receiving. And then also the site that they're at also provides them with a nutritious lunch while they're there. So
that's important. You
exactly.
know, when we were cleaning my little grandma's house, her freezer had hot dogs and Cool Whip in it. That is not the basic three. Well, it is the basic three food groups: sugar, salt, and grease. She nailed it. Yeah, and you know, a nutritious meal is important.
Yes.
And I suppose they don't have to ante up for that, do they?
Nope, it's already provided by the site, so they get to kind of enjoy that with the kids as well. And that's something that we really pride ourselves on at Community Action with our senior nutrition program that we also have. You know, we want to make sure seniors have the ability to stay in their homes if that's what they want. And we want to be able to know that they can be fed on a daily basis. And so we make sure that happens. And that's why funding is so important and why these fundraisers are so important, so that we can continue those programs. And we, you know, the delivery driver that brings those meals, they're also a friendly face, somebody to converse with.
Yes.
Check on them. You know, if we've had, I know, situations in the past where we've gone to check on these seniors and they do need help, and they're the delivery driver is the one that says, all right, let's get what we need to happen.
Yes. You see, now that's a spin-off from what was just to delivering their cheeseburgers for paradise. You know, that is so great. One thing I'd like to have you address that I think is so meaningful is this class that you have for people that teaches them about resumes and job applications and so forth.
Yes. Mr. Gossett has actually been one of our champions in our Jobs for Life class.
Always the knight in shining armor.
Yes, he was excellent. Our class, it's called Jobs for Life, and not only do we go over, you know, just the basics of resume writing, interview skills, professional dress, professional demeanor, but we also talk about the integrity of work and how everyone is created to work in some way. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but if you live in the state of Illinois and you're a single mom with 2 children and you're taking advantage of all the resources and services that are available to you, if you were to get off those services, you would have to make around $65,000 to $70,000 a year to make up for what you are receiving from the state.
Ooh, that's a lot of change.
It's a lot of money. So to ask, you know, a single mom, you know, to say, hey, you know what, we're asking you to give up that, and
in its entirety, excuse me?
Not in its entirety like that. It's a step-by-step process. But, you know, maybe taking a little bit away, you know, and let's get a job. You know, let's get a job maybe part-time or full-time, you know, at minimum wage. And then we're going to help you learn how to balance a budget and how to, you know, when you go to the grocery store, you know, how to make sure you're spending just the right amount of money. And then we provide scholarships for those graduates, and they can go on to get either like a certificate or licensing, like a CNA or a welder or truck driver. We also provide scholarships for people to get their GED and like an undergraduate degree as well. So there's a lot of benefits to coming to the classes. We bring in outside business representatives and our champions and mentors to help grow their sphere of influence, and those relationships are so important in that classroom setting. They really learn a lot from the people that come in and just pour their hearts out to them. And I loved watching that. I don't know about you, Bill, but I thought that was such a cool part of the class.
You can see them begin to blossom a little bit.
You can.
Sometimes in very small increments, and suddenly, excuse me, please, suddenly say, by Jove, I think they've got it.
The self-confidence piece that they gain is huge, and it's just so much fun. Like I just love the class. I'm teaching part of a class right now here in Lincoln, and the students are just, they're excited. They're doing so great. They're getting ready to graduate from Jobs for Life here in about 2 weeks, and they'll move on to our financial literacy class. So now that they have the skills to get a job, when they do get a job, they'll know how to budget their money. So it's just this continual growing piece, and it's called the Hand Up Project.
Well, Dee and Blanche should be very proud of your granddaughter.
Oh, thank you. That makes me happy.
At this time, if Jim's ready to push all the buttons and styles, we'll take a commercial break and then come right back to these young ladies. Go ahead, James. Right back live in the studios here. The program is Viewpoint. Our guests this morning are Katie Alexander and Breann Titus. The correct pronunciation?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. I got that right for a change. 648-5510. Somebody might have some questions or make me some comments. Maybe they had some experience with our community action program. These young ladies are doing they and their associates out there on West 5th Street Road are doing a whale of a job for our community, impacting a lot of lives. Tell me about your background, Breann. How did you get into this?
Well,
what is your educational background?
I actually went to Lincoln College first and got
Glad
my
to hear
associate's
that. Hear that,
degree.
folks? Lincoln College.
Yes. I missed my time at Lincoln College. So I got my associate's degree there following high school, and then I transferred to Illinois State University and got my bachelor's degree in communication there, and that's actually where I met Katie.
Oh, is that right?
Absolutely. We went to college together and actually had almost every class together, and we became pretty close then. And then didn't see each other after graduation. Our lives kind of went in separate directions. I worked in retail for a little while, just kind of getting my feet on the ground after I graduated, and moved out to Wichita, Kansas. I lived there about 5 years and got my first real career job in higher education.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Well, you've spun right off, haven't you?
I know. I never imagined, honestly, that I would work in higher education. It's just not where I saw my path going, but it's something that I loved every minute of it, and I got to see a lot of success stories that Katie was mentioning earlier, and I got to see some of these people who didn't know what to do and didn't know how what direction to go when they graduated from high school, because a lot of them were first generation college students, so they didn't know. They didn't have the support necessarily at home to say, this is what you need to do. I was lucky enough to have a family that supported me in any choice that I made, so I kind of used that background to show these people that there is somebody to support you. But I did that about 7 years and decided I was ready for something different, and that's kind of how I came into nonprofit.
I'll be darned.
Well, that's an interesting journey that you've been on, for sure.
One thing that she lacked a little bit, she didn't know how to communicate very well.
It's that degree in communication. I don't know.
Well, I'm just sitting here enjoying the fact that you are so well-spoken.
Thank you.
And you're passionate about what you do. That's pretty obvious to me.
Absolutely. I think that's from day one. You have to be passionate about what you're doing, or you shouldn't be doing it. And that's whether it's higher education, working retail, which I've done, or working in nonprofit. That your passion makes you successful.
And every success that the people have
absolutely
makes you happier and happier.
It makes you continue to do what you do.
Sure.
And sometimes you have those bad situations that kind of maybe leave a bad taste in your mouth, so to speak. But then you focus back on those people that have been successful, and that's what keeps you going.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You mentioned the financial literacy classes that follow your teaching people about applying for a job and so forth. Now, what does financial literacy involve?
Well, we talk about budgeting.
Yes.
We talk about paying off debt, using the snowball effect. We talk about building wealth and saving your money. Sometimes, especially in the younger generation, we struggle with saving. We're we want it now generation, and so we see it, so we want to buy it, and that's not always the best idea for life.
Well, and now there's an epiphany.
What a novel idea.
How old-fashioned can we get?
I know. So, we use an envelope system, which one of those envelopes is for saving, and we just help them build that up. We want them to have an emergency fund so that they're not going out and getting a credit card or getting those, fast cash loans, because we all know that those are just not good.
But I bet you run into any number of people who've taken advantage of these payday loans.
Yes.
And have a credit card. They'll give they'd give my dog Murphy a credit card,
Oh,
and
would.
they have. Not to Murphy, but he doesn't have one. I won't allow it. But
that's my dog.
I've heard about dogs getting credit cards, and that's pricey.
It is. We use I don't know, have you heard of Dave Ramsey? I think some people have, the Financial Peace University curriculum. We do use that in our classroom. And I've even taken the class, and I don't have credit cards anymore. I did before, but I cut them up, as Dave would say. And it's just a really good class. Any age, any walk of life could take it and really learn something. And every time I teach it, which I've taught it now several times, I learn something new. So it's been really beneficial. And sometimes, people are only budgeting, they might only have $100 a month to budget, that are coming into our classroom. And so that gets really tricky. But, it's just figuring out where that money goes and giving it a name and telling it what to do instead of, letting your money control you. So.
Right. Which is the horse and which is the cart.
Do you know, girls, ladies, we're studying all about community action, and we're hearing all the great things it does, but we've got to get specific because we've got to talk about cheeseburgers.
That's right.
I'm not hungry for a cheeseburger at this hour of the morning, but that's going to be a fundraiser and a very, very important one. So let's address ourselves to the specifics of the Cheeseburgers for Paradise.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So Cheeseburger
Breann.
for Paradise, like Bill mentioned, it's a fundraiser for our agency and a very important fundraiser, as we've kind of already talked about some funding issues that we've been having due to the state budget. So this is something that this is going to be to support our entire agency, and I want to make that point because it's not necessarily one particular program that we're focusing on. We're just focusing on supporting all of those great services that we've already talked about. So we have the option, you can sponsor a table for this event.
What would that cost?
It ranges from $180 all the way up to $990, and it comes with, some come with multiple tables. We go from 8 tickets all the way up to 16 tickets, depending on the table package. There's also drink tokens that are involved, and then we also are doing individual tickets this year and opening it up to the community and to the public to attend. And those tickets are $30 each, and all of that, the table packages and the individual tickets, include all-you-can-eat cheeseburgers. Who doesn't want all-you-can-eat cheeseburgers?
You're going to make money on me because I can only take about a half of one.
So there also will be nachos and wings available. We'll have a cash bar available as well, and soft drinks for everyone. I believe there also will be some sweets there, some desserts available for those. And we're also going to have a live auction, which we're very excited about.
You need some items for that.
We do. We are working. We do have a few items which we are posting on our Facebook page, our event page for Cheeseburger, just to kind of let people know this is what we have. These are some of the items we're going to be auctioning off that night. But we are looking for some additional auction donations, and we're looking for maybe some larger ticket items because, again, this is a very important fundraiser for for our agency. So we want to be able to make some good money on this so we can support those services. But we're also accepting monetary donations if somebody cannot attend the event and does not want to sponsor a table, or maybe doesn't want to or doesn't know what to give us for an auction item or donate for that, we will accept monetary donations to kind of put towards that night as well.
But you've traditionally had some pretty nice auction items, haven't you?
Yes, yes. That's where Katie and I are kind of working our magic as much as we can.
Yes, well, that's something for people to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Taking advantage of that.
And here again, some of our merchants in town step forward and help you in great ways, I'm sure.
Yes, and we make sure that we definitely thank them for their support and their donation. That's one of the reasons why we are using social media this time around, so that we can publicly thank them in that forum and say thank you to, you know, X business for giving this donation and making that known. And then, of course, we'll announce at the night of the event, just so they kind of get their name out there that they're supporting such a great cause.
Right.
How do we find you on Facebook?
You have to search Community Action Partnership of Central Illinois. I know that's a long...
That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
I don't know if I could spell it that way.
But, you know, the good thing is once you find it, definitely like that page so that it starts coming up in your news feed and you follow our post, because Katie and I are definitely making sure we're posting several times throughout the week, almost every day, about things that are going on at the agency. And right now we're actually doing a giveaway for cheeseburger tickets. So once our Community Action page reaches 1,000 followers, we're giving away 2 tickets to cheeseburger. So if you're listening now, definitely get on Facebook and search Community Action Partnership of Central Illinois and like our page so we can give away some tickets.
Now, we haven't asked the specific, well, we did. We get real specific about this, the date and time.
Yes. The date is April 16th. It is a Saturday evening starting at 6 o'clock, and it's located at Lincoln Banquet Center on Madigan Drive. It's a new venue this year we're very excited about. And like I said,
that's a good venue.
Yes, it is. We're excited to have it there. It's a lot of extra space for us, and we've been able to add some additional tables this year for more people that want to support the cause.
How would somebody who might want to sponsor a table get in touch with you?
Yes, they can do that in a couple different ways. They can do that online. They can visit our webpage, which is www.capcil, which is CAPCIL.info. And right there at the top of that page, it'll say your link to cheeseburger. So they can click that link and they can pay through PayPal right then and there. They can call the agency, and our phone number is 217-732-2159. And they can ask for Katie or myself, and we would be able to help them with those ticket purchases or table sponsorships and auction items.
Yes.
Yeah, but there might be individuals. Some of us have reached the age where we're starting to downsize. There are quite a few of us out there that do that. We don't know what to do with some of these things.
Right.
The kids don't want them anymore and everything. So as long as they're in good shape and nothing trinkets or anything with something of substance, that'd be a nice way to get rid of some of these things, right?
Yeah, it definitely could be, for sure. And we're accepting, you know, any type of donation at this point, whether it is an auction item of that nature, whether it's, you know, that monetary donation. We just want people to support the agency. We're also focusing on that educational piece. We mentioned before that not everybody knows what community action does. So we're taking this event and we're changing it up a little bit, and we're making sure we educate the attendees on what we do and where this money is going.
Yes.
So we hope that this is going to be an event where we're going to definitely create some community awareness.
Why don't you each pick out, you've mentioned a couple times about little-known program, quote unquote. Pick out one of your little-known that you think is especially valid, that people just don't seem to have grasped yet.
Good question, Mrs. Busby.
It is a good question.
It
Stump
is.
the panel.
I feel like the Hand Up Project, that's one that's not very well known, mainly because it's very new. The grant that funds the Hand Up project it's called CSBG. It's the Community Services Block Grant, which actually originated with Lyndon B. Johnson in his State of the Union address.
Oh, yeah.
When he declared war on poverty, and that grant is the backbone of every community action agency across the country. And the mission of that grant is the reduction and eventual elimination of poverty. And for a long time, a lot of community action agencies, I don't want to say we were misusing it, but I think we were misrepresenting it.
Well, maybe some weren't using it as efficiently as they may have.
Correct. And we kind of fell into that group. We were using it for our food pantry and rental assistance and coats for kids. And not that those things are bad, but it doesn't necessarily help reduce or eliminate poverty. It kind of just puts a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah.
And so what we wanted to do was shake things up a little bit and really help our customers that were coming in the door, help them not have to come back to us next year, help them get to a place where they can be successful and get there on their own, so next year they can buy their own coat for their child and not have to come to our food pantry anymore. We want to have those resources available, but we want to help them get there and do it on their own.
That's a great program.
Yes.
Have you picked yours yet, Breann?
I have.
All right.
Well, and of course, I want to start by just making a mention that, like we've talked about, all of our programs are amazing and they help all different types of people. But I think there are programs out there that are more well known. Everybody kind of connects us with Head Start.
Oh, yes. And LMPT.
Exactly.
And foster grandparents.
Exactly. Because those have been around for a while.
Very
so, like, her program hasn't been around that long. And one thing that I'm really heading up and spearheading right now is just volunteers, volunteer services. So I do oversee the foster grandparent, but I'm also focusing on just a volunteer piece that is people of all ages that can volunteer for the agency, whether that's at the agency in some of our other programs, or if that is helping with events. So for Cheeseburger, we are looking for volunteers to help. So if you're interested in that, rather than doing monetary donations or something, we would definitely love the donation of your time. So a lot of people I've heard, they didn't know they could do volunteer hours at the agency. I've heard that a couple of times, and we love to have volunteers, and that can be just doing anything, whether that's helping with delivering meals, helping with transportation, helping in the Head Start classrooms, or just helping us doing filing and helping our jobs to get a little bit easier, being champions for her Jobs for Life program that she oversees. So any age of person that has a heart to give back and wants to be involved, definitely call the agency, ask for me, and I would be more than happy to find them a way that they can do that.
Great. And
now, you had two great answers to a very profound question.
I had two great answers. I knew I'd get at least two.
Ken would be proud of you.
Yeah, right. Do you suppose you could just take a guesstimate as to the number of people you serve overall?
We serve a 6-county area.
Yes.
And so in that 6-county area, we serve over 4,000 families every year.
Families?
That's families.
So you got to multiply.
Yes. There's, when it comes to individuals, I just ran a report a couple weeks ago, but I don't want to misspeak. I believe it was somewhere between 8,000 and 10,000 individuals that were somehow touched by our agency every year. Because families, I mean, a lot of times you're going to have multiple children, or you're going to have your parents living in the home, or you've got friends. There's a lot of people that are touched by our agency every year.
I guess. That is amazing. Now, you've long had to depend to some greater or lesser degree on grants.
Yes.
And I assume that's still true, maybe even more true, what with our little impasse we have down in the big city. Who is your grant writer? That's an art. I mean, I can't just sit down and write a grant.
Well,
or an RFP.
Many of our directors, thankfully, we've got some pretty qualified people working at Community Action, but we write grants, and our executive director is a very good grant writer as well. So,
And your executive director is?
Her name's Allison Rumler Gomez.
I just wanted to make sure
Yep.
we all knew that.
Yep, she's been a great leader for us at Community Action, and so we've all taken a little bit of a stab at times at that grant writing piece. And it's not for the faint of heart,
No.
I will say.
No.
It's an art. It
really is. It's time consuming. There's a lot of surveys and reporting that you have to do with the CSBG grant. I'm required to do a community needs assessment and survey every year, and you can actually find that if you go to our webpage and you go to the CSBG site on the webpage, you can read my results. I surveyed all 6 counties. We did focus groups, and then I took the data and compiled it into a report to show just exactly what the community feels like they need, both from our customers' viewpoint and from our business owners and just our supporters. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's such a smart way to approach things, because you need the input of the receivers and the givers both, or
Yes.
you're not going to have any idea what you got going on.
It's been very helpful, and that's kind of what's helped
Is it
steer us in the
enlightening,
direction.
too?
It is. It's very enlightening.
Yeah.
I would have never thought I would have liked doing surveys. Like Breann said, we're communicators. We've got that communication degree. We don't normally like data, but I guess as you get older, you learn to like certain things more and more. So the data has been very interesting.
It's the purpose that you like.
That's true. It is.
It's
the
not
purpose.
necessarily the data or the stats or the math. It's necessarily what that information gives you.
You know, Judith Kay,
Yes, sir.
I'm sitting here enjoying this hour this morning, this 45 minutes this morning, because you and I are watching 2 very bright young ladies who are really enthusiastic about what they do. And the net result of that is that it makes a better life for a hell of a lot more people in this
gosh.
county. So we appreciate your taking your time, Breann and Katie, coming up and sharing what you do. Let's remember now, as we close, Cheeseburgers for Paradise.
That's right.
And the date is, again, for the 16th.
Right.
And it's going to be at the what we used to call Thunderfoot Junction.
That's
out there on the
right.
west
Back
side.
when you went to go dancing there.
Those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. All right. If somebody wants to help out there, either volunteer or perhaps drop a check or two, 732-2159. Am I correct in that?
Correct.
And Breann talked about volunteers as we close. And ladies, we always try to find something that has to do with the subject matter of the morning for a quote for the to close the program. And I found one that really fits in since you talked about volunteers. This is you might remember this, Judith. Research has shown that those who volunteer live a lot longer. You're going to live to be 128.
Yeah, but it's true. It's true.
Thank you very much, ladies, for
Thank you for
Viewpoint.
having
Glad to
us.
have you up here today.
Thank you.